Maybe you're like me and your team didn't make it to the Super Bowl. Now you're gonna go to a Super Bowl party, you're gonna watch two teams that you don't give a shit about, and eat your feelings away. Don't do it. Don't ruin your keto diet. I've got a keto-friendly Bill's Mafia certified soup for you. It's my buffalo chicken Bill's Mafia soup.
The Bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Shout it right now, baby. Come on, come on. Come on and shout.
All right, so here I have most of the ingredients we're going to need for our Bill's Mafia buffalo chicken soup. I've pre-chopped all of the carrots and celery. This is 8 sticks of celery and 1 large carrot. I have almond flour. You're going to need 1/2 cup of that. We're going to use this whole thing. This is 1 quart of heavy whipping cream. I've got this buffalo sauce. We'll use 1/2 cup of this. I went with Primal Kitchen. And we're going to use 43.5 ounces of chicken broth or bone broth. That's either 3 cans or 1 whole box and 11 ounces. You're also going to use a whole stick of butter, so I'm going to use half of this. Here I have 4 chicken breasts. I've placed them in my pressure cooker with a little bit of bone broth. I added a little bit of salt because your bone broth has already got salt in it, so you don't need too much. And then I put a little pepper on there. We're going to seal this up. And then we're going to let it cook. We're going to put it on high. And we're going to put it for 2 minutes on pressure cook. And you're going to let that do a natural release. Here in my pan, I am going to put in our 1 stick of butter. We'll let that melt down a little. Then we're going to add our celery and carrots that have been pre-cut. Now we're just going to let the butter melt in here a little bit. You can break it up so it melts quicker. And just chop it into smaller pieces. It'll melt quicker. You're going to want all of the butter to melt before we move on to the next step. So we've got it good and melted here. Now we're going to slowly add in the almond flour. You're going to want 1/2 cup. And you slowly pour that in, mix it around so that you don't get any clumps. This is going to create a thick sauce for our soup. And just keep doing that slowly, moving it around so that the butter doesn't burn until you've got that whole 1/2 cup in there. Now I'm adding my cooked celery and carrots into my bone broth. My bone broth has been boiling on the stove. You want to make sure that that bone broth comes to a boil before you add in all of your vegetables. I'm just scraping out my pan here, and then I'm going to take a little bit of that bone broth and I'm going to put it back in the skillet to deglaze it and make sure that we get all of that goodness off. If you have 2 big pots, you can always do your vegetables in a big pot. I don't have 2 big pots, so I just used a little skillet and then did my broth in the big pot. So I'm just pushing all that stuff around, making sure that it gets all the flour off of the bottom and off the sides. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to pour it back into my soup so that we've got all that flour, almond flour that we put in there in the soup. And we'll move to our next step. Now we want to do our 1/2 cup of hot sauce. And I went with this one because it had the best ingredients, I thought. You can also use, if you're in Buffalo, either Ted's, or if you're not, Frank's original hot sauce. And you're just going to pour that into your soup. And we mixed it up there. Now we're going to add in our heavy cream. You're going to use the whole quart. And you're going to stir that around in your sauce. And then once that's done, you're going to want to bring this to a simmer so that your cream doesn't burn. You don't want it to boil over. And you're going to let that simmer for 1/2 hour. Once that's done, you can cube up the chicken that's already been pressure cooked and add it to your soup at the end, and it's ready to eat. There you have it, the Bills Mafia Buffalo Chicken Soup. Josh Allen approved, and you're going to love it. If you don't try it out for Super Bowl 56, go ahead and save it for the Stanley Cup. Go Sabres!
The Bills make me wanna shout.